This story is about a man who ended up stealing millions of dollars from Netflix and how his ambition slowly turned into complete collapse. And the man's name is Carl. When this story begins, Carl is around 35 years old and living in Los Angeles. He works in the entertainment industry, mostly directing high-end commercials for big brands like Mercedes and Heineken. From the outside, Carl is doing very well for himself. He is successful, respected, and making good money. But deep down, Carl wants more. What he really wants to is become a major Hollywood director, making big budget movies and television shows. Directing commercial is not enough for him. He wants his name attached to something else. Then one day, Carl finally gets the opportunity he has been waiting for. Universal Studio hires him to direct an action movie called 47 Ronin. This is not a small project. The movie has a budget of over $170 million and stars Ken Reeves. For Carl, this feels like a big breakthrough, his first real chance to prove himself in Hollywood. He knows he cannot afford to mess this up. Production begins, but almost immediately problems start showing up. Carl insists that every scene in the movie should be filmed twice. One version in English and another version in Japanese because many of the actors are Japanese native. While Carl believes this will improve the authenticity of the film, it caused major problems behind the scene. Shooting everything twice drastically increased production costs. It also creates serious complications during editing. The producers and investors are not happy at all. Eventually, Carl is removed entirely from the editing process. Things only get worse when 47 Ronin is finally released. The movie is a complete disaster. It performed terribly at the box office and destroyed by critics, earning only 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. Carl's dream of becoming a major Hollywood director collapsed almost overnight. After the failure, Carl returns to directing commercials again. He is still making money, but he refuses to give up on Hollywood. He convinced himself that all he needs is one more opportunity. Not long after, Carl started working on a new project with his wife, Gabriella. Together, they begin developing a science fiction series called White Ops. The show involved humanoid, robot, and futuristic teams. Carl financed the project himself and eventually they start filming. At first, it feels like a passion project, something creative that keeps him busy and hopeful. Over time, Carl managed to produce 6 short episodes, each lasting between 4 and 10 minutes, but eventually he decided that White Oaks will not just be a passion project. He wants it to be his big comeback. Carl used the short episode to pitch the series to every major streaming platform he can think of. His goal is to secure funding so he can turn it into a full-length television series. One of the platforms he pitched to is Netflix. So Netflix executive listened to the pitch and surprisingly, they liked it. They agreed to fund White House and send Carl millions of dollars in initial funding. In 2018, Carl and his team began filming in several countries, including Brazil, Uruguay, and Hungary. That is when everything started to fall apart. Being the creator, director, and producer of a big project series turns out to be extremely stressful. Over time, the pressure begins to affect Carl's mental health. He starts abusing his ADHD medication, which can cause manic behavior. People on set begin noticing serious change in him. Carl starts shouting and cursing at crew members. He lashes out constantly and becomes unpredictable. His behavior grows so extreme that he begins accusing his own wife, Gabriella, of plotting to have him assassinated. Eventually, Gabriella, Carl's family members, and several crew members staged an intervention. It does not work. By 2020, Netflix has already invested $44.3 million into the project. Somehow, despite all that money, Carl claims the production is completely broke. He goes back to Netflix asking for more funding. Netflix initially refused. But Carl tells them that without more money, the project cannot be completed at all. Not wanting their investment to go to waste, Netflix sent him an additional $11 million. This is the moment where Carl could have tried to finish the series or return the money. Instead, he does something shocking. Carl transferred the $11 million into his personal stock trading account and begins making extremely risky options trades. Within weeks, he lost $5.9 million. After that, he moved the remaining money into cryptocurrency and buys millions of dollars worth of Dogecoin. Unexpected, the gambles pay off. The value of Dogecoin spiked, turning his $4 million investment into $27 million. At this point, Carl could repay Netflix or reinvest in production. He does either. Instead, Carl goes on an insane spending spree. He buys 5 Rolls Royce, a Ferrari, and spent over $650,000 on clothes and watch. He purchased two luxurious mattresses costing a total of $638,000, then spent another $295,000 on high-end bedding. He also spent about $400,000 on luxurious hotels and rentals and pays off $1.8 million in personal credit card debits. While doing all of this, Carl continues lying to Netflix, assuring them that production is moving forward. In reality, filming has completely stopped. Around this time, Carl's behavior becomes even more disturbing. He begins believing wild conspiracy theories. He claims he can predict lightning strikes and volcanic eruptions. He tells Gabriela that airplanes are intelligent living beings sent to greet him during the COVID pandemic. He even claims he can map coronavirus signals coming from inside the earth. Eventually, Gabriela has had enough. So she goes to Netflix, explains everything that has been happening, and files for divorce. After reviewing the situation, Netflix decided to cut their losses. In 2021, they officially stopped funding the project but allowed Carl to sell it elsewhere if the new buyer replaced Netflix. Carl still refused to return the money. Instead, he sues Netflix for breach of contract. The case goes to administration and Carl lost. The ruling states that he owes Netflix $11.8 million. Federal prosecutors then step in. Carl is charged with wire fraud and money laundering for misusing Netflix funds. He was arrested, goes to trial, and he was found guilty. As of now, Carl is still waiting sentencing, and that is how one man's dream of Hollywood success turned into one of Netflix's most bizarre fraud cases. And don't forget to subscribe.